You're listening to Tusk Talks Radio. Stay tuned as we talk about important community topics and what's happening at Kent State Tuscarawas. Learn about the campus and its academic programs, athletics, student activities, performing arts center events, and community involvement. The purpose of Kent State Tuscarawas is to help you find yours. With 27 degree programs, low tuition, and excellent faculty, you can create your own success story at Kent State Tuscarawas.
And let's welcome in on a Wednesday morning. In studio with us is Dean Brad Bielski from Kent State Tusk. And thank you, sir, for coming in. Don't know who is going to walk through the door or who we're going to have on the phone or whatever, but you are actually here in person, and it's probably been an interesting time for you the past week or so.
It has, and I want to thank you and the radio station and really all the news media outlets. I think during these times you provide a really important and necessary service and function to the community, and that's to continue the flow of information, accurate information. You know, we're out there right now all looking on our Facebook and our Instagrams to get information. Some of it's good, but some of it we know comes from a certain bent or lens and maybe not all accurate.
That's a very good
So
point.
It's really important in times like this that the media continue to function and continue to move forward and give us really good information, particularly I think the local media, because in times like this, I think the local media really is more important than at any other time, because a lot of people right now need services and they need information, as we've talked about off air. And this is one of the ways in which they can know for sure and not see it on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, where to go for help and where to go for services.
Well, Dean Bielski, we were talking about this is all new territory for all of us, and I feel for you the weight on your shoulders when you're responsible for so many people in your building on any given day, and to have that cut off now, and this is again uncharted territory, but the classes are going on. Let's talk about how this is being handled for students at the campus and of course, the professors and everybody else.
Yeah, it's been an amazing and interesting 2 weeks. So I would say it was about 2 weeks ago. We were all called to Kent State for a academic leadership group meeting of the administration. And at that meeting, there was a lot of discussion as to whether or not should we bring the students from Italy home or not. What countries are safe and what countries are not safe. And within 2 weeks, we've gone to effectively all instruction online, buildings limited in their operations across an 8-campus system. And that all happened within 2 weeks. Wow. So a lot of the communications have changed over time. And we've tried to keep information flowing as accurately as we can. But I'd say to our folks, please understand when you see a communication like I put out yesterday, I can change tomorrow.
That's true. It is a very fluid situation.
Because, we're all employees of Kent State University, and we're all employees of the state of Ohio.
Right.
If the governor says, here's what we're doing, we listen to that.
Let's talk about that for a minute here. It's been somewhat different states operating with different protocol for whatever their government or their governor happens to say. I feel, our governor in Ohio has been very, very forward and upfront about getting the information out, the scientific side of it. And that can't be easy as far as the pressure to make these tough decisions. You can't just pull the plug on an election. You can't just tell restaurants and bars they're closing without that huge ripple effect for everyone.
Absolutely. I mean, there has to be a ton of political pressure on the governor on all sides. And so making those types of decisions are difficult, and often there aren't any winners that, or there are only a few number of winners in that. So
think about this, though. I mean, in your situation, when you first began your career and where we are now, the technology side of it is phenomenal. I mean, this is where we embrace being able to do online face-to-face meetings and things like that. I mean, this really is the perfect scenario for a situation like this.
Absolutely is. So, Kent State Tuscarawas has been involved in various forms of instructions over the last probably 8 to 10 years. So, several faculty are ramped up and ready to go with online instruction. About 2 years ago, we added a technology called Zoom, and we were one of the leaders in that. And I shout out to network services on our campus. And when I say we were one of the leaders, we were one of the leaders throughout the Kent State University system. So that was really nice, which allows for courses to be delivered kind of in a virtual environment, but you look at your computer screen and you see all your classmates. I kid around and say it's kind of like the Brady Bunch thing.
Everybody's in their split screens.
Everybody's in their spaces, and you can see and interact and talk.
That is great.
So we're doing some of that as well. But where I'll say that I've been most impressed is, the faculty and the students that are used to taking courses in an alternate fashion. This is different for them too, but it's not as different. But we have students on campus and we have faculty that have never done this before.
Sure.
They have always liked and preferred teaching in a one-on-one environment or a classroom environment. So a huge shout out to those individuals, because literally within about 48 to 72 hours, they converted sometimes 4 or 5 classes that they were teaching face-to-face into an alternate format. So it was just amazing.
It really is.
And I'll say so far, knock on, I guess, is this real wood right here?
I think this is wood here,
okay.
Yes.
Knock on real wood, we've only had a minimum number of what I would call serious concerns or complaints. As your advertisement or our promo piece said, we offer 27-degree programs, so you can imagine how many courses go with those programs. And to only have to date a handful of serious concerns or complaint, I think is a real shout-out to the faculty, the students, and to our instructional designers, network services, library staff that have really all pitched in to help to make this happen.
We're talking with Dean Brad Bielski. It's our Tusk Talk segment that we do on Wednesday mornings. And again, it's a new era for at least right now. With that being said, the students, they are, of course, all about this technology. And it's just normal routine for them with the electronic side of it. How are they doing as far as, like, I know you were mentioning about some of the groups are creating little projects and things like that. Let's put the spotlight on some of the things you've seen over the past week or so.
Well, there's the academic piece of the slowdown, I'll say, or the new normal. So that's being handled kind of through the methods that I just talked about. But what I've really kind of been really proud of is the way that many of our students, and I'll say some of our recent alums, have banded together through social networking. And here's a case where social networking can be really powerful and good.
Without a doubt.
So, one of our students put together, or is the administrator of something called the Mutual Aid Facebook page. It's really trying to get students together and members of the Tuscarawas County community to figure out what we can do through volunteerism and so forth to help people out during times like this. And there are going to be a lot of people that need help. And many of our students and alumni are coming together to try to do just that.
That's got to make you feel real proud when you see these folks not just kicking back with not being in class and watching old movies or events like that. They're getting involved. They're helping others, and that's really what this whole situation is going to prove in the long run when we look back on this, how we helped each other. And the other side of it is, in your case, for example, you're waiting for the lead from the governor, and then on top of that, you have to wait for the lead from the top of Kent State. So there's a lot of moving pieces on this chessboard that plays out every given day.
We do, and I want to say that the leadership at Kent State University, the president, Todd Diakin, the provost, Melody Tankersley, have done an amazing job at keeping the entire Kent State University system informed as to the latest news coming from the state, the latest policies and procedures that are coming through, working with the faculty, working with faculty unions, working with staff unions, and so forth. It's all complicated, and our executive level administration has done a remarkable job in making sure that the entire system is informed and ready to mobilize and move. And I think when you have an 8-campus system that is the size of Connecticut, literally,
wow.
geographically,
It's amazing.
to keep that system all on the same page and moving in the same direction is a real testament to all of their leadership.
We're not going to give out websites and specific information because all of the students and all of the professors are connected with the people they need to do, but just say that we will continue to pass along your information. You're very good about posting important details on social media, and of course you'll continue to join us here, whether it's in studio or on the phone. We'll keep this segment on Wednesday mornings as a focal point for listeners as well to stay up on the very latest, because the bottom line is we don't know the end date on this particular story, so it could be a while, it could be shorter than we know. I mean, we just don't have that answer right now.
We don't, but we're continuing to operate. The campus is on a highly reduced crew right now. We're asking that folks not come to campus unless they have essential business.
Good point.
So, and that's hard for our community.
Mm-hmm.
We're such a focal point for community events. So Women's Success Series,
Sure.
as an example.
Right.
Performing Arts Center.
Mm-hmm.
We welcomed nearly 60,000 visitors to campus last year, and we probably already
Amazing.
were 45-ish thousand this year. And now, that all stops. And it's we're kind of an education center, but we're a cultural and community center as well. So we're going to try to keep as much of that going online as possible. So we've got a few creative solutions. We're trying to do some virtual makerspace type things, and it's not going to be the same as coming into the library and doing your 3D printing, but we want to keep the information flowing and keep the connection solid with the community.
Dean Brad Bielski, thank you for the information as always, and keep us posted. And we'll again talk next week on the Tusk Talk segments. And appreciate you making it in this morning to share the info with our listeners.
Well, we appreciate everything that you're doing to keep information out there to the public, whether that's in healthcare, social services, or education, and sports too, even though there's not a whole lot of that going on right now.
Well, we were talking about that off the air. It was kind of a nice little bright ray of sunshine to get some NFL news this week, and it kind of distracts us from everything else. So
sure is.
Have a great day, and we'll talk again next Wednesday.
All right, look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Dean Brad Bielski in studio this morning. Our Tusk Talk segments every Wednesday right here on Big Hits WBTC. It is 8:31.